Now, Fred Thompson, running for the 5th Congressional District. Hi, Fred.
Hey, Bill. How are you today?
Very good. Where are you at today?
Well, right now I'm in Portland. I'm getting ready to do a interview, editorial board with Willamette Week with Schrader.
All right.
And then as soon as that's over with, I'm headed back to the coast. I started at 4 a.m. yesterday morning and had a meeting in Salem at 6:30 and headed to the coast. And I got in bed at 1 this morning, so it was a 21-hour day. And now I'm going back. I'm looking for a 6-pack of 5-hour energy right now.
No kidding. And drink it all at once?
I drink it all at once, I tell you. But I got the weekend over on the coast, and I'll tell you, Bill, I walked the streets and I talked to a lot of people yesterday, and I'll tell you, they are hurting over there at the coast. I mean, there's so many people that are out of work, and I was talking to women whose husbands have been unemployed for several years, and here I'm driving over the coast and I'm seeing all these beautiful natural resources, these trees that we have, and that's what we are, a natural resource state. And, the federal government owns 55% of this, of that timberland, and I said, we have the ability to get ourselves out of the debt that we have today and to put people back to work and keep our schools going and stop shutting down schools and laying off teachers. And, it just irritates me to think about that. And, of course, Schrader wants to give more timberland to the federal government. And I'm saying, enough is enough. This guy's been in politics for 20 years. It's like Clint Eastwood said, at the convention. It's time to let him go. It's time to let him go. And so that's what we need to do here.
Let me ask you this again. Fred Thompson running for Congress here in the 5th District. We were talking earlier in the show about uninformed people. We were talking about the presidential race and how many people are just so ignorant, but yet they say, well, I'm going to vote for Obama. Now, bringing it to this race. As you're going around the district, are you finding people that don't even know who their congressman is, and so it gives you an opportunity to introduce yourself in a different way, or does everybody seem to be aware of who it is? And if they are aware, are they ready for a change? What are you hearing more of?
Well, I went into places yesterday that they'd never ever seen any politician ever show up. So and they were surprised when I went in there and told them who I was, what I was running for. And they have not, and they didn't know who their congressman was, and so it was very eye-opening for me that people have just not gotten around on the streets and talked to these folks and let them know who their politicians are, what their responsibilities are, and what their issues are. And so you're absolutely right, they just don't know. And I tell you, coming back from dinner last night, I met with a gentleman earlier at a music store, and he saw me walking down the street, and he came over and shook my hand. He says, "I've got 2 people here. You got some more brochures? I want to introduce you to them." And so I said, "Sure, I got some more." And so I handed them and started talking to them, and they had never met anybody that's running for office before, and was very pleased. So it's pretty exciting, actually.
So are you finding that all over the district for the most part, or just in some areas? I'm just curious where people are, because I have never actually run into anybody myself who actually knows who the congressman is in this district.
Well, there's in some of the circles that I run in, everybody is kind of a political diehard, and so they know. But you get into rural areas and you get 2 blocks off Main Street, and they don't know who it is, and they don't know what they do, and they've never seen them, but they know that the economy's bad, their personal economy's bad, and so they're quite concerned about what the future looks like. So many young people now are living in their parents' basement, and they're pretty upset because there's just no future for them.
Yeah. Well, and
that's what I'm seeing.
Well, the only reason I bring that up is because I see that as such an opportunity for you, in that you are out there hitting the pavement so hard for so many hours and so long days, and if you're hitting all these people that perhaps either don't vote or didn't vote or have no idea who Kurt Schrader is, but they're sure going to remember Fred Thompson now because they ran into a guy who shook their hand. I think that's a big deal.
I ran into a couple guys yesterday. He asked me to come back, talk to his boss, so I went back, talked to his boss, and the guy makes saddles, and we got talking about that, and then the other gentleman introduced me. I asked him, I said, are you a voter? He says, I'm not even registered. I said, here, Let's register you to vote. This is what you need to do. You need to participate in this process. He said yes. Just like you mentioned the other day, Bill, when I was at a meeting, you said make sure you ask these people if they're registered, which I do. And if they're not, then I have a registration form. I hand it to them. I said, please register. I'll turn it in for you. So it really is very rewarding for me to be out there with the people. You know, I know the rules are you're supposed to spend 90% of your time collecting money, and I don't do that. If people want to give me money, they can give me money, but it's more important for me to be with the people. I wish I could be with all 700,000, or close to that anyway, in the congressional district, because they have a lot of concerns. They're great people. They're very smart people. They want jobs, and they want somebody to solve that problem. And I said, I'm certainly going to do that. You know, I'm a natural resource guy. I'm a timber guy, and I understand our mining and our fishing and our farming. I grew up on a dairy, and I understand all of that. And I said, this is what we need to get back to in order to provide the jobs for our families. And, you know, I want, you know, me, I want, because I was a journeyman and for a number of years, I want to get trade school back into mid-high and high school to get these kids trained. I tell people all the time we need more craftspeople and fewer lawyers in our society, and we need to get these kids graduate from high school with a good trade in their back pocket so they can go out and make a great living and take care of their family.
Yeah, I agree. Fred Thompson, running for Congress in the 5th District. As you go around also, Fred, and let's say you do run into those people that are more like you and I, kind of political junkies, and let's say they, whether it's, you know, up in the Clackamas area or in the Salem area, whatever, some of the larger metropolitan areas, what kind of, are you sensing at all even the Schrader person is saying, yeah, I'm not so happy?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I ran into one yesterday. She's a psychologist and works with families and family situations, and she was a diehard Democrat, and she said that. That isn't something that I tagged her with. That's what she said. And I said, well, let's talk about the issue. And first of all, she said she wasn't going to take my flyer. I said, well, let's just talk about the issues and what's going on. You're involved with families all the time. What are we doing to really take care of the opportunities that these people need? I'm not talking about handing them a welfare check. I said, that doesn't do anybody any good. You can't pay a mortgage based off of that. And she agreed with me. And I said, well, let's talk about the issues. So we did. And she says, you know, Mr. Thompson, let me have one of your flyers. In fact, let me have two. She says, there's somebody I'd like to talk to. I said, absolutely, that is my phone number on it. You give me a call. I'll come back anytime you'd like, and we'll sit down and have a discussion. I said, because all I care about is that you're an American. I don't care about your gender, your race, your religion, what color your eyes are. I don't care. It's going to take all Americans to sit down and solve these problems, but you can't do it with the people that we keep sending back to Washington, D.C., because, you know, they're nice people, but, hey, they're over their head. They don't know what has to happen here on Main Street to make life work for everybody. And I said they're just back there, you know, taking care of their special interest people. That doesn't help. That doesn't help Newport, and it doesn't help Clackamas or Polk County or any of those places. It doesn't help them.
All right.
We have it right here.
Fred Thompson, 5th Congressional District. He's running against the incumbent Democrat, and he needs your help in many ways. Financial, in walking, in putting up signs, and knocking on doors, all those things. Fred, why don't you give us the website again so that people can get on and learn more?
It's Fred Thompson and the number 4 Congress.com. And let me say this, Bill, I had my grad school professor from Medford, him and his wife drove 250 miles yesterday, and they're walking Newport with me. So they'll be doing that tonight, and they're doing it right now while I'm in Portland, and then they'll be doing it tomorrow. So I've got a number of people that have known me for a long time that are trying to help me out any way they can, and they gave me a nice contribution also. Very good. Okay, Fred Thompson, the number 4 Congress.com. All right, thanks, Fred. Have a great day, and go give Schrader some heck, will you? Yes, sir. That's on my agenda. All right. I like it. There you go. Fred Thompson for Congress here in the 5th Congressional District.